Welcome back, everybody. Episode 11 of the Ghost Files. We got a double header today. Sean, Durkin, and Max Hansen. Say what's up to the people.
What's up?
My full name's Maxwell.
It's going to be one of these. All right. For the people at home that don't know y'all, would you want to give a brief rundown?
Of us?
Yeah.
All right. I'm Sean Durkin. I'm very dry. Don't do much, but I like some stuff. I'm a fun guy. I'm funny. Got an okay personality, and once you get to know me, I'm great.
That was like a Tinder profile rundown. All right, Max, you go.
I like that. I'm not dry, but like kind of a loser a little bit. I like to read and stuff. I'm the butt of the jokes, you know how it goes. But I'm a pretty happy person. I love to talk to people, love to be around people, very social.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, let's just jump right into it. We usually start off with the first question being, how's senior year going and what you've been up to? So who wants to go first?
I'll go. Senior year, grade wise, kind of catastrophe. I have been doing absolutely no work. My productivity is at an all-time low, but I still think I'm like happier than I've ever been. I think that like socially and just personally, I finally kind of reached that point where I've come to terms with who I want to be, who I am. And I think that it's allowed me to pursue a lot of new opportunities with new people and just kind of find myself drifting, but in like a really happy way where I'm kind of just exploring my options and figuring out my place in the world. It's a moment of clarity. But my grades are still terrible. Like,
At least you got clarity.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My senior year, could be better. Could be better for everyone. Not the best circumstances. My grades have been pretty good. I think it helped me get into some of my schools. I'm excited for college because this year has just been a catastrophe. But I'm hoping our administration pulls through and gives us something to do at the end of the year to make up for all this boring, wasted time.
Okay, big news. We got the capstone, the like
Breaking
senior
news.
experience stuff coming in tomorrow, man. Let's see how that goes.
So that's something. Yeah. As you guys said, could be worse, could be better. Kind of a mess of a year. Kind of want it to be over, but at the same time, it's kind of a toss up.
I mean, like everyone's always like, to me, it's like everyone's always going, 2020 was terrible, and I totally understand that it was bad, but I feel like just like emotionally and like experience wise, I'm really like happy that it went the way it did because I think that kind of pushed all of us in a direction towards that like self exploration and kind of that that introspective internalized thinking. And I think that without that, I wouldn't have grown and changed the way that I have because I'm very different than I was just like a year ago because of all the stuff that's happened. So, I mean, yeah, my grades are bad and yeah, I'm not trying in school, but I think that without last year, I wouldn't be as happy as I am now.
True. I definitely like, the pandemic, obviously people talk about it in a negative light, but at the same time, that time alone can definitely help you grow in a much needed way because you have time away from people that kind of distract you from that.
For
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. For sure. All right. Sean kind of mentioned it in his explanation, but talking about college, how is the college process going for you guys, and where are y'all at with that?
I have zero decisions. It's January 26th, right? I know people that have decisions from all of their schools. I have zero. And my first one's like supposedly coming in on February 1st. And I like at least by then, I don't know. They're very vague about it. So I'm like, I have all my applications and I applied to like 12 schools, like a lot of schools. I shelled out tons of money to apply to all those schools. And I have no ability for me to like feel confident with the stuff I've submitted because I haven't gotten decisions back. So I'm like, I don't know if I did this wrong. I don't know if I did that wrong. It's like it's just stressful. And it's like, I really don't know where I stand in terms of admissions to a lot of these schools. You know, like the scatter charts weren't helpful. So I kind of just like shotgun to a bunch of different places. And I don't have that like clarity of knowing that I'm at least going somewhere yet, you know? But I mean, I still feel confident. It's just like, I feel like I should be doing something to actively get these through, or to actively like promote myself getting in, like advocating for myself or something. But it's like I've done everything I can do and I just need to wait now, and it's really stressful, but it's not like overtly bearing on me.
Very nice. I'm practically the opposite of Max. I've received almost all of my decisions. 7-1, pretty good.
Pretty good record.
The one was a tough one, but we'll take it. Still waiting from two big schools, but I have gotten into some schools I would seriously consider going to. So it takes a lot of stress off your shoulders, and I'm excited to visit some schools and make the decision in like a month or two, and just feel like I'm on a new path.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting. It's an interesting time because there's a lot of decisions to be made, and it can be stressful, but at the same time, there's like that level of excitement because you're starting a new journey in a way, like starting something brand new.
Well, it's like you're like, I'm like telling myself I'm gonna do all this stuff once I get to college, because like I don't really have the guts to like change certain things now or deal with certain things now, because I don't want to like show up to school one day and be a completely different person, even though it's more of who I want to be. So I'm kind of using college as like this time when I can just let loose and finally like reach peak form. I'm not gonna peak in high school. I'm gonna peak in college. You know.
Evolve.
Yeah, it's like my next step, but I'm like not gonna do it now because it's like I just feel like college is a really good time to reset and reevaluate yourself. You know, it's so much more of like an emotional thing for me than it is an academic thing, because it's just a complete change of dynamic.
Yeah, definitely. A lot changes in the jump from high school to college, and I feel like a lot of people take that as an opportunity to change themselves for better at the same time because you're getting away from your hometown in a way, and you're pursuing something that hopefully want to do. So it kind of shows more about yourself, and you learn a bit more about yourself. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I can't wait to go to college because I think I've always been an independent person. Always wanted to do things on my own. So to have the opportunity to live on my own, make my own decisions, far away from home is very exciting to me.
definitely. I'm looking forward to it as well. Uh, Besides college, is there anything you guys have kind of like on your checklist of like, oh, I want to do this in the next 4 years, like outside of academics?
I just really want to meet people. Like one of the main things for me going to school is like I want to go to like I applied to a lot of bigger private universities, not like the small liberal arts ones or any public schools, because to me it's very important that I go to somewhere with recognition, because they have higher uh like out of state applicants, higher international applicants, because I want to get to a point where I'm just throwing myself into an environment of people that are just nothing like me. Because it's like it's one thing to surround yourself with people that are similar to you. It's good, it's easy to talk to them, and it's somewhere to start. But I feel like I'm kind of at that point where I need to expose myself to new people and new things, especially with college, just because it's like I don't think that I feel like I'm going to be in a better position as an adult if I know, other people's backgrounds and other people's personalities and where other people come from. Because I mean, we in Westbrook we do kind of have a little bit of a sheltered worldview. I don't think we're a
100%.
we're a suburban Massachusetts town. Like we don't get exposure to all these different cultures and all these different, you know, people. And I want to go somewhere that has people from all over the country and all over the world, so that I feel like I, at least in some way, almost visited those places and feel like I have a better grip on the world around me, because it's just I think everyone would benefit from exposure to different people and different cultures.
Yeah, I agree with that. I want to meet new people, people who live differently from myself. I definitely have like a plan to live probably far away from here when I'm an adult and throughout my life. So to experience people from the South, the East, the West, whole different culture, things you got to acclimate yourself to. So that would be one of the things on my list for the next 4 years. Also, just trying to be successful, get internships, do as much as I can to make a better future for myself.
Yeah, and I think I want to be a little bit more like active community and school based than I was, because I mean I just like I didn't really realize until like late last year that I like really love WA as like a school and an environment and like just like I feel like I belong there, and I didn't really have an identity with it until recently. So it was kind of upsetting to me when it like as soon as I'm coming to terms with that, I'm like, oh, I'm leaving. Like
Yeah.
it's almost over. So it's like I think when I go to college, I want the decision to be this decision is very important to me because I want it to be a culture I can commit to, a school I can commit to, like an environment that I really, really enjoy. And with that, I want to become more active with it, you know, whether that's with like uh, different like organizations on campus, just participating with like, you know, being at sports games and stuff like that. It's just stuff that I didn't really get to do in high school because I didn't really know what I was missing out on until now. And then with COVID, it's like half that stuff isn't here anymore. So I haven't been able to like fulfill that missing part of me that I realized that I didn't have until now. So I just want to be really, really, really devoted to the school because I want to like 20 years from now look back at my bachelor's program and just be like, man, like I'm so happy I made that decision. I'm so happy that I still feel proud of that culture and of that school. I want to be rooting for, you know, the sports teams of the school I go to when I'm 40, 50, 60 years old.
Yeah. There's definitely kind of like a feeling of regret when you look back at high school in some, you know, aspects, whether it's grades or, you know, getting involved. And that's kind of just like, you know, we're kind of new to this in a way because, you know, it's not like we like learned regrets in middle school. Like we weren't mature enough for that in a way. Like we didn't
Yeah.
take anything away from that. And I feel like for high school, we kind of learned that, you know, we get these lessons that like you should definitely like take advantage of things when they're here. Cause like you said, you know, COVID takes away these things that you don't like appreciate them until they're gone.
Yeah. And I think I got myself wrapped up at like recently into like a state of like, you know, you never really know what you're missing until it's gone type deal. And I think that's unavoidable. And I think that like I spent too much time trying to figure out how I could address it. I like acted really impulsively, making stupid decisions, like just trying to like kind of like scavenge and like get whatever I could out of it. But I think everyone deals with that no matter what stage of your life you're at. And I think that it's still a good thing to like evaluate what you did wrong or what you missed out on, what you could get up to next time or like in, you know, your next stage of life, but it's not something to get hung up on. Cause like, that's the point where you're just kind of reaching instability on how much you're focusing on what you could have done. And instead of you're not focusing on what you can do.
Yeah, definitely. There's a difference in taking like those regrets and, you know, viewing them as lessons and then like moping over them because some people will have it in their brain like they'll overthink it and be like, dang, I should have done this, and then they won't use it next time to, you know, make it different. Like you kind of have to use it as fuel to just like keep marching ahead and be like, all right, I instead of doing A, I'm gonna do B, you know, because I learned from my mistake last time. Definitely. All right. Moving into the next question. Outside of school and, you know, and academics and stuff, what do you think is your like favorite hobbies and like things you like to do?
I just like to talk to people and be around people. Like it's not like again like didn't really realize it until like junior year. Like the amount of stuff, the amount of like interactions that I realized like actually fueled my day. Like I could be having a terrible day and have one conversation with a person, and all of a sudden I'm like wide awake, super happy, super peppy, like I could do anything, you know. And it's like it's I mean I call it a hobby. It's like I just like to talk to people. Like I'm a conversationalist.
Like
It's
an
just something that I like to.
interest rather
Yeah,
than a hobby.
I mean it's like it's just the way that I live my life now is I just like to like just see what's going on, talk to people, have dumb conversations because they are entirely meaningless. But to me, they give me some sort of fulfillment. Like that's what I enjoy doing. And I think to an extent that kind of forays into like maybe a career choice and something that involves like activism or just like involving people. Like I think I want to do something involving the humanities because I know how much I enjoy that. But I also like to read a lot. You know, I go big Wikipedia guy. You know how it is. I got the Wikipedia app on my phone. Read a little too much, but it's okay.
It's a good trait to have.
Maybe, I don't know.
I'd agree with Max. I like talking to people. I didn't realize it as much as since I took public speaking this year. It really shows how like you can learn to talk to people much easier, and I really love that class. I like talking about all different things. But other hobbies would be like I like playing sports. Some of them I'm really bad at, but I don't really care like other people do. I just like to have fun and try. And then I would just like, yeah, that's my hobbies, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I do definitely enjoy sports, but it's like I feel like I need to be playing sports with people that I like being around. Because again, it's like it all comes down to the people. I don't like just playing with like random people. It's all about like the culture of. I've used the word culture like 50 times today. It's all about just the culture of the.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah, the sports environment. Because it's like if I'm just with these random guys who are like going hard, throwing 95 on a wiffle ball game, it's like okay, like it's great. But if you're just with your friends and you're like, and you hit one off your buddy and you just flip the bat and run around him, it's like that's a much different experience to me. And I like that a lot more. So it's like, yeah, like it's not as much like the team focused competitive sports thing, but it's just like doing whatever, you know, like playing baseball with friends, playing football with friends. It's so much more like, it's so much more than just the sport. It's like, it's also just like a bonding experience and a time for you to like take in sociality.
There's definitely like two aspects to it because you know you kind of get that team bond over the love for the sport. Like I kind of have that with basketball. Like I don't really care who I'm playing with, but you know for volleyball I've played club and I've played school, and the difference with playing with your friends from school and these randos on the club team couldn't be more different. Like I loved school volleyball, and then I just dreaded going to club volleyball, and that's just because of you know you're around your friends, and you know that just makes the experience different 100%.
Yeah, like I'll
definitely a similar experience with golf that I did this year. Like golfing with the boys just on some weekend just is so much different than I have to go and golf with these kids that hit under par and just talk about golf and make these amazing shots and have amazing days. That's really my thing.
Definitely. I can totally like relate to that 100%. Going back to college in a way, you guys kind of touched on maybe like fields of interest and majors. Do you guys have like a set like path you want to go down with that?
I've been saying for like the past year, like that I'm going to be a lawyer. Like I'm going to go get my undergrad degree. I'm probably going to get a bachelor's in like I actually applied to one of my schools as a philosophy major. And well, I was like, oh, what are you interested in? I didn't put undeclared for whatever reason. I applied to every other school undeclared, but I applied to my early action school as a philosophy major. So that's now on my application. Like I can change it. I'm not concerned about it, but like probably like an undergrad degree that's like a little bit more not career oriented, just a humanities based one, like philosophy or like political science. And then I want to either do like paralegal for like a couple of years or maybe just go straight into getting my JD. But like, again, like that's rooted in me, like knowing that I can talk to people, knowing that I'm confident talking in front of people, like in school or just like with social groups. I'm really comfortable like speaking, but it's like, I feel like I'm kind of just like throwing all my money on that right now. And I don't think I should be. I think I should be doing a little bit of a better job of evaluating like any other things that I could possibly want to do. And I still have time for that. But it's just like, I've been telling everyone, oh, I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be a lawyer. You know, I'm going to go do like criminal defense or something to make the world a better place. But it's like I still don't know if that's actually what I want to do. It's a lot of work, a lot of money, and it's just like I need to truly be in love with that for me to say that I'm going to commit that much time to it.
Yeah, it's hard to choose a path so early in life, but personally, I see myself as a business person. I like marketing and sales, not really a finance or hospitality guy, but I'd love to go into sports at some point. It's a very hard path to go down. Everyone wants to go into sports. But eventually, once I gain enough experience, maybe when I'm older, I could join with some team.
Yeah, being a sports attorney though would be kind of heat. Like, just saying, or like a lot of those big guys like the MLB, they used to be lawyers. So I'm just saying, like the pathway's there for me. Possibly, I don't know. Got to work my way up. We'll see.
Definitely.
But somewhere in business, I can't really see myself getting a master's. I've thought about it. I don't really know, but just try to get a good. I want to get a good general degree that I can do a lot with.
Yeah, definitely. The business world's like cool because there's no like strict path. Like you said, there's kind of like a lot you can do with like even like with any degree in that field, you can kind of just figure it out for yourself and see what's like for you. Definitely. All right, let's see what we got for questions here. Mm, okay. This is like a spin on an old question I've been telling, but how do you think, or what has influenced you to be the person you are today?
How deep am I getting with this one?
Literally like whatever you want. Whatever you want, whatever you want the viewers
I
to
mean,
know.
I
The
mean, like,
public.
are you comfortable with me like just like throwing stuff out there?
I
Like,
mean, if you're comfortable
Hey,
with the public knowing.
keep it under 5 minutes.
for everyone who doesn't know me, I missed 99 days of school in my first years of high school. I dealt with like severe like anxiety, like severe issues. And I think that like that type of isolation pushed me so far into wanting sociality and wanting to meet people that it made me realize like I need to be in a place where that I can speak to people. Like my remote weeks right now are a mess because I cannot function without physically being around people. And it's just like I cannot like fathom working from home. Like I don't understand like I don't like my dad works from home. I don't know how he does it because it's like there is no like personal interaction. There's no like genuine like eye to eye contact with like that level of just like companionship or intricacy. And it's like I don't know how you cope with that. And I think like because I spent 100 days of 2 years completely disconnected from the school, disconnected from the environment, settling for like low grades and stuff, it made me want so much more than I had. And it's made me like slightly impulsive, but it's at the same time, it's like, you know, like I'm really happy that I dealt with that when I did so that I can see like, you know, like I just really like being around people. Like I COVID has been terrible because it really hurts that. And it's like, I just want to meet as many people, go as many places as possible. Just like, I don't want to just hold back on anything social anymore. It's also given me a send it mentality. Like I'm sending it. Like I don't care.
Yeah, for me, I'd say I feel like for many years I've been like very somewhat introverted. Uh, I like to be in my room pretty much all day, and I I'm more comfortable when I'm alone. So that led me to do a lot of like things being alone. Like I wouldn't call it time wasted. I read a lot, I watched a lot, learned a lot from my room, and I think that's shaped me to be very different from who I was. I can now talk about more things. I'm more comfortable sharing emotion. And I think I'm overall a better person now that I feel like I can reach out to other people rather than just hiding in my room and cowering in my emotions and mental health. Like I've opened up a lot more to that because I feel like myself a year ago didn't care about mental health or uh, like I was like, oh well, it's not happening to me, so I don't care about it at all. But now that I've opened up to that side and realized what it's all about, I totally get it, and it's made me more affectionate and considering to other people.
Very receptive of you, Sean.
Yeah.
No, and I totally like agree that I mean, seeing it is one thing. Like you see it a lot more when you've dealt with it because you're a little bit more aware of what it looks like. And at the same time, me going through it, like I became very I've tried to like accommodate it a lot because it's just I feel like I can see other people and be like, oh, like that was me like 2 years ago. Like I know what that's like and I feel terrible about it. And like so I feel like it's helped me also like just socially because it gives me like it allows me to put myself in a position where I can help other people too. And it allows me to build relationships with people through helping them with that type of thing because I've gone through it and I know people that still deal with that type of stuff. And I mean, like I do too. Like I still have like remnants of it, but I think that by going through it, you can really help other people just through personal experience.
Definitely. I mean, it's like a corny saying, but like it's okay to not be okay. Like there's no such thing as normal, if you know what I mean. Like I feel like a lot of people when they struggle with mental health, they kind of try to like stomp it down and just like try to just like avoid it. But like the best way to attack it is just like facing it head on. And like you guys said, like that, like other people go through the same stuff, and like um, it's okay to like reach out because like most likely they'll be like, I went through the same thing, and I'll help you in like whatever you need, stuff like that.
Well, yeah, but it's also like it doesn't define me. I don't let it define me, but I think it's really important to just let it like exist because it's like it is me. Like everyone who knows me knows I'm like a super anxious person, but like that's why the fact that I'm like sending it now is so much more important because it's like I'm not listening to that anymore. And like yes, there will always be that voice in the back of my head saying, no, you should not do this, or you're gonna embarrass yourself, or you're gonna look like a fool. But like regardless, I'm still going through with it. And that's like it shows development, but it's also very important to me as a person, just like in my character. And it's like, yeah, I'm anxious. I'm an anxious person. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just how I am. I'm cool with dealing with that in my life as long as it's not inhibiting me like the way it used to.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see here. So we got that one done. All right, here we go. Favorite high school memory. What do y'all got?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I don't know, man. I think it would have been the pep rally, the spirit rally this year if we had one. I mean, we dominated.
Yeah.
We dominated for 3 straight years, and then
The
like
junior year pep rally, that's up there. That was crazy.
yeah, I think that's probably where I stand with that because like junior year was like the year that I started like realizing that I wanted to be more involved, and I got like wicked hyped up for the spirit rally, and it just, I mean, hey, I mean, I'm not gonna like name names or like lay anything out, but like real ones know how that went.
Yeah, if you know, you know, type of ordeal.
Yeah, that spirit rally, that was something.
I mean, you're standing with your like closest friends, jumping up and down, cheering for your grade. Like, there's no deeper sense of camaraderie than that, and it's like completely meaningless. But that's like the best part of it. There is no meaning behind it. You're cheering for these two guys in like a potato sack race, like, but you're screaming, and by the time it's over, your lungs and your throat are just completely sore. It's like better than the World Series, man. Like, it's next level.
Admission priceless, as
Yeah,
they
I
say.
definitely screamed more during the spirit rally than when the Sox won the series.
Yeah, I mean, I screamed a lot when the Sox won the World Series, but I mean that was next level.
It's true. That's fair. I can agree with that one. The junior pep rally has a spirit rally has a special place in my heart as well.
Not to just the freshman and sophomore one, so those were pretty heat too.
Yeah,
but the junior
it was
year
an
one.
upper echelon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sophomore year to junior year was like an exponential difference in how hyped I was.
Yeah. this question's like on the flip side of that. Biggest regret from high school. What do y'all got?
Missing school. Like,
That's
I mean,
fair.
like, I don't know how much I need to lay into that, but I like, I feel like I could just be so much like, I just feel like there's so much missed potential there, and I like it's difficult because you try not to dwell on it because it kind of pushes. Like when I think about it too much, it kind of pushes me back to that era of my life, and it's like I don't like to, but I think I'm of course I'll acknowledge it, but it's just like I can't get hung up on it. But it's like, man, if I had gone to school like every day and like I not only would I have like a deeper like even deeper sense of like belonging within that school within WA and like within my friend groups, but I'd have better grades, you know, I'd have better relationship with teachers, and I'd just be like a better person. Maybe or maybe I wouldn't, but it's just I definitely regret that time of my life in a way.
Uh, a more basic answer would be grades. I didn't care about my grades at all freshman year. I didn't think it mattered. I was like, oh, I got 3 more years. It's easy. And I just got clobbered at midterms freshman year and got that was just a rough time. So I was able to start slowly doing better. Junior year, I did way better than freshman year, but and also I'd say I never really went to many sports events uh, throughout high school. Like freshman, sophomore year, I was like kind of doing sports, so I kind of missed out on everything else. And then junior year, I just like never really went to anything. I would love to go to more hockey and basketball games and football games, but never really happened.
Yeah, gotcha. There's definitely uh like I can relate to that as a lot more or as well because like grades like you mentioned like I freshman year I wasn't thinking about the future or anything. I was just like, yeah, who cares? Like stuff like that. Like
It's another year of school, man.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And just doing like more stuff freshman sophomore year that, not waiting till the last minute. Definitely. Um let's see. What is something that you learned from your time at WA that you didn't expect to kind of like learn or, find out about maybe yourself or like something else when you walked in as a freshman?
I don't know. I think I'm a little stronger than I thought I was. You know, to deal with all the stuff I did and actually have like my grades like yeah, like I underperformed, but my grades are good. You know, like the fact that I was able to like 46 days freshman year. I'm like beating this to death, but 46 days freshman year, 53 sophomore year, man. I came out like looking okay. And the fact that I looked okay after that, and the fact that was able to get through that and still change as much as I did and still be confident with that, like man, if I can go through that and still come out on the other side of it like better than I was, then I can do anything. Like I'm like I can reach as far as I want to reach in the world. It'll take effort, it'll take time, it'll be a lot of stress, but I don't think that there's much inhibiting me unless I want to be like a pro baseball player, which is not happening at this point. But like I'm just saying, like aside from that, like I feel like I have a lot of options. And I don't think without me being as strong as I realized that I would be able to say that about myself.
Probably for me, like I learned so much through the 4 years, but an example of walking through the doors first day of freshman year would be you don't imagine yourself talking to the people in the grades above you, but when I was a freshman, it was like crazy to me how sophomores, juniors, and seniors would like be talking to me, or I could talk to them, and like they weren't like these scary people that we weren't allowed to converse with. Because I think there's a lot of bad apples, and there is a huge difference between underclassmen and upperclassmen. But overall, I think anyone can like anyone and have a conversation with anyone, and like it sounds weird, but like everyone kind of loves each other because that's like the bonds you get when going to a school, I think.
Yeah, definitely. The camaraderie, like, because you have those classes, electives, or like for me, it was Latin where I met, in my freshman, sophomore year, I talked to seniors and juniors, and it wasn't like a bloodbath or
You
anything.
know,
Like,
freshman Latin is like a whole new level of like there's so many different people in
yeah,
there from so many different grades.
it's a melting pot of just random people. Like,
Yeah.
I talked to so many different people that like I would have never talked to, and like I actually, talked to them a good bit, and was solid friends with them. So it's definitely like, you can't go in with the stereotype of like, oh, the big bad seniors and stuff like that, and vice versa. When you're a senior, you kind of have to appreciate everybody. Alrighty. 5 years from now, where do you want to see yourself?
Uh, 5 years from now, probably going to be living at home if we're thinking realistically. Not going to have enough money. Hopefully, landed a job by then, but probably just saving up money to get a place. Maybe I'll have a significant other to get a place with. Uh, living, I want to live relatively somewhere near my work, not in Massachusetts. I don't like Massachusetts very much. I'd love to be more southern. It's cheaper down there, warmer weather, don't have to wipe snow off my car. Uh, that's the dream, anyways.
Uh, Honestly, aside from like wanting to have my bachelor's degree by then, I don't care where I am as long as I'm happy. Like as long as I feel like I'm a person like I gotta set goals. Like I gotta like choose one thing to focus on at any given point in my life. And as long as I have a goal and I have a feasible way of reaching that, and I also have enough fulfillment at the time to feel like I'm like stable, I don't care. I just don't want to be in a spot where I feel like I don't have anything left to do or I'm not progressing or if I've stalled. It's just life is just a continuous roll of uh like succeeding interests. It's like I just want to find a goal after that, whether that's getting my JD or whether that's going to like get a master's degree or maybe I'm working and I'm like saving money for a house. Like I don't care. I just want to be happy and I want to have a goal.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. Definitely good to have goals, and just, I feel like the most important thing is happiness, no matter what you're doing. It could be anything. So, here comes the grand finale question, the closer. The big question we asked everybody to close out the show. If you could go back and give advice to freshman year, uh, your freshman year self, or just, WA freshman in general, what would it be?
Bro, send it. Like it's not worth worrying about it. Just like go for it. You didn't like. It took me so long to realize that, but it's like even if like there's no means of anything, like even if it just makes no sense for you to send it, because likelihood is you come out of it fine and you learn from it. Like you're not gonna die. Like you're good. Like just it, you spent so long thinking like this could go wrong, this could go wrong, this could go wrong. It's like it doesn't matter. If it goes wrong, then it does. You're gonna be fine. It just do the stuff that you internally want to do and stop thinking about how other people look at it or how you yourself look at like your own opinion of yourself because of what you've done. If that's what you want, then that's what you want and you got to go for it. It's not feasible to just sit there and worry about it or think about it. It just, like go hang out with your friends, go do what you want to do, and like yeah, like get your grades up, kids, but like the people are like, in my opinion, the most important thing about high school. It's not about the grades, even though it's like it's important for college. It's about developing as a person. And if grades aren't the number one way for you to develop as a person, then maybe you shouldn't focus much on them. And you can, because you can go to college and just not be prioritizing grades the entire time. You'll be fine. It's all about just being who you want to be and meeting the people you want to meet.
Yeah, I think the people are pretty important. On a more academic standpoint, I would say take classes you want to take. You'll find yourself being more successful if you're in classes that you actually have interest in. And then just talk to people. I don't know how many people are at WA, but it's like over 1,000. There's so many people with so many different personalities. I haven't done it much, but like in many scenarios, I've just started talking to someone sitting next to me in class or in the hallway that I've never talked to before. And it's never failed because people want to talk to other people. People want to meet new people. It's exciting. And you never know who you're going to meet. You never know who that person is going to end up being in your life. So it doesn't hurt to just talk to someone. If they reject you, that's fine because we can only learn from rejection.
Yep, 100% agree with both both of you guys' responses there. Great advice, guys. I want to thank you for coming on the pod. I know this was a long time awaited.
Yo, we were supposed to be like 5 episodes ago, Dan. Like
It was a rain check. It was a
yeah,
rain
we were
check.
we were like no, we were like early schedulers. Like we were supposed to be like some of the OG crew, and then you came like, oh, not tonight, I'm busy. And then
Well, you said, "Oh, I'm not home," so it goes
Thanks
both
for
ways.
having
one
us.
time. It was one
Thanks for
time.
having us. All you got
Alrighty.
to say.
Yep. So yeah, that'll do it. For the Ghost Files podcast, I'm Dan Allison, and thanks for listening.